involved in the snow. A thick green haze around your head is an aura you've yet to see. It can't be evil, 'cause I have seen through things that are far from free. Slowly, it's all happening. My mind might melt today as liquid clouds and hungry crowds pass through the time to stay. But now it's time to go down south, way out to Mexico. I have my eyes on what I want, but I have no place to go. The colored walls are in the view without any space between. Hey look, that wall is bending my way. Get back into another day. Something is hiding behind my back. I don't know what to say. I hope it's someone that I don't know, so I can slip away.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
NBC News presents Viet Cong Terror, a guerrilla offensive. Now, here is NBC News correspondent Frank McGee.
The new communist campaign in Vietnam continues. Just after midnight their time, a band of Viet Cong raiders blew up a power installation and attacked 2 police stations in Saigon. Other small bands still roam the city. The Viet Cong are reported to be in complete control of a militant Buddhist headquarters less than a mile from the center of town. And there are reports that the National Liberation Front has formed a revolutionary council to run Saigon. At nearby Tan Son Nhut Air Force Base, which is also American military headquarters, sporadic sniper fire continues to be heard. At Hue, the old imperial capital, 400 miles to the north, the Viet Cong is holding on to part of the town, as well as half the city of Kon Tum in the central highlands. Along the northern coastline, Nha Trang and Quy Nhon have come under fresh mortar fire. And earlier today, South Vietnamese President Thieu declared martial law. It all amounts to the most ambitious series of communist attacks yet mounted, spreading violence into at least 10 provincial capitals, plus American air bases and civilian installations stretching the entire length of the country. None had greater psychological impact than the assault on the American embassy in Saigon. For a late film report on Vietnam countrywide, here is NBC News correspondent Jack Perkins in Tokyo by satellite.
U.S. Marines are trying to sweep North Vietnamese troops from the citadel toward the banks of the Perfume River and into a gauntlet of fire. Almost all restraint is off. For the first time, the Vietnamese are seeing the Holocaust of conventional war, the kind that leveled much of Korea and destroyed dozens of cities in World War II.
Correction, you go right about 150 meters.
To the right?
You see a whole bunch of brush, and then you see this one little tin roof sticking up.
Right in the center.
See it right through there?
Which tin roof? The one
Hue is being systematically destroyed, and there is no haven for the spectators. The communists return mortar and sniper fire, trying to silence the American guns. It will be a long time before normalcy ever returns here. Hue, once Vietnam's diamond in the rough, has lost all of its glitter. It will never be the same.
What remains of an old tower fortress built more than a century ago again is put to combat use. That's the North Vietnamese strong point. That's where the snipers are. That's where the rocket firing had been coming from. Now the Marines are trying to silence the firing with grenade launchers. A medieval battlement turns out to be a formidable strong point against 20th century guns. A tank is no more successful than the grenades, or the artillery, or the infantry. Charlie is still in there.
Okay, you see this tall tree standing all by itself there? Come left of that about 100 meters.
To the left, and there's one little building sitting there by itself.
Right.
The last 200 yards are the toughest. The North Vietnamese are deeply entrenched in buildings and bunkers, carefully camouflaged, waiting for the Marines to move forward, to gun them down in the open. They have been holding out for 3 weeks in what has become the longest, bloodiest battle of the war. In the week of fighting inside the Citadel, the Marines have had an average of 1 tank a day knocked out. This is not the first big battle for 1st Battalion, 5th Marines.
Once I was a soldier, and I fought on foreign sands for you. Once I was a hunter, and I brought home fresh meat for you. Once I was a lover, I searched behind your eyes for you. Soon there'll be another to tell you I was just a lie. And sometimes I wonder, just for a while, will you ever remember me? Though you have forgotten all of our rubbish dreams, I find myself searching through the ashes of our rooms for the days when we smiled and the hours that ran wild with the magic of our eyes and the silence of our world. Sometimes I wonder, just for a while, will you ever remember me? Ever remember me?